The book of the prophet Jonah. Once upon a time, there was a man named Jonah. This man received an important task from God. Arise and go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry out against it, for their weakness has come up before me. But Jonah didn't want to go to Nineveh, and not to preach in it at all. Nevertheless, he set out on a journey to the port city of Joppa. Instead of heading west to Nineveh, he chose a ship sailing in the opposite direction, to Tarshish. But at sea, a great storm arose, threatening to wreck the ship. The sailors were terrified and prayed to their gods. Then they began throwing the cargo overboard to lighten the ship. Jonah, however, wasn't afraid of the storm. He knew which way the wind was blowing. He went below deck, lay down, and fell asleep. When the helmsman found him there, he said to him, "What's wrong with you, sleepyhead? Arise and cry to your God. Maybe they'll hear you and we won't perish." The sailors then decided to draw lots to see which of them had brought the great misfortune. The lot fell on Jonah, so they questioned him. "Why is a storm coming upon us? What is your profession? Where are you coming from?" And Jonah told them everything. "I am a Jew, and I worship the God of heaven, who created the sea and the land. I was given a task, but I didn't want to do it. So rather, I fled to Tarshish." Those words frightened the sailors even more, and the storm increased. So they asked him further, "What shall we do to calm the sea?" And Jonah answered them, "You must throw me into the sea. That's the only way to calm it. I know that the great storm fell upon you because of me." However, the sailors did not want to kill him, so they tried with all their might to get the ship back to land, but in vain. The storm grew stronger and stronger. Finally, they gave up and cried, "Please, God, don't punish us for killing this innocent man." Then they picked up Jonah and threw him into the sea. At that moment, the sea stopped raging. After this miracle, the sailors believed. They offered sacrifices to God and made promises to him. However, God didn't let Jonah die in the waves just like that. He sent a great fish that swallowed him. Jonah journeyed inside the whale's belly for 3 days and 3 nights. By then, he couldn't take it any longer and began to pray. "I call to you from my misery. I scream to you from the grave, but still I know you can hear me. You threw me into the deep, in the middle of the raging sea. I was surrounded by water. All your eddies and waves passed over me. Then I thought to myself, I am rejected and driven away. You will never see me again." But then I realized that I would never see your beautiful world again either. Waters surround me to my soul, deep currents all around. Seaweed covers my head. I sank down to the roots of the mountain. The earth's bars closed behind me forever. But you pulled me out of the abyss. You rescued my life from the underworld. When my soul was weak, I remembered you, and you answered my prayer. Those who worship idols forsake their happiness, but I will sacrifice to you with gratitude. I will fulfill what I have promised. At that very moment, the fish spat Jonah out onto the shore. As soon as Jonah got back on his feet, he heard the word of God again. "Arise and go to Nineveh, that great city, and preach there what I tell you." So Jonah stood up and went, this time truly to Nineveh, a city so big that it would take 3 days to walk through it. On the very first day, he entered the city and began to preach, 40 more days and Nineveh will be destroyed. But the people of Nineveh believed in God immediately. They declared a fast, and all of them, from the greatest to the least, put on sack. When the news reached the king, he rose from his throne, took off his royal robes, covered himself with sack, and sat down in the dust. Throughout the city, the decree was issued. By decree of the king and his nobles, neither people nor cattle, oxen nor sheep may eat or drink anything. Let people and cattle dress in sack and cry out to God with all their might. Let everyone stop being evil and violent. And God saw their deeds, that they ceased to be wicked, and so he had mercy on the city and did not destroy them. But Jonah was very angry about the city's quick rescue and began to pray. Come on, didn't I say exactly this back home? That you would show them mercy anyway? That's why I wanted to flee to Tarshish and not embarrass myself here. After all, your infinite mercy and patience, showing pity even to the wicked. Now please, just take my soul from me. I'd rather die than live like this. And God answered him, Do you think that you have a right to be angry? Jonah then left the city and settled east of it. He pitched a tent there and sat down in its shadow to see what would happen to the city. God then placed a plant next to Jonah, giving him shade from the sun. Jonah was very pleased with the plant. But at dawn the next day, God sent a worm to bite into the plant, and so the plant withered. As the sun rose, a hot east wind blew, and the sun beat down on Jonah's head until he grew faint. He wished he were dead, saying, I'd rather die than live. And God answered him, Do you think that you have a right to be angry about the plant? Certainly right, replied Jonah. I'm angry enough to die. Do you feel sorry for the plant, for which you didn't work, neither made it grow? Overnight it grew, overnight it withered. And should I not feel sorry for Nineveh, that great city? After all, there are more than 120,000 people living in it who don't even know their right hand from their left, and so many cattle on top of that.